What's up, guys? It's Jacob Katzanik here, back for another episode of the Michigan State Spartans Insider Podcast here at Spartan Nation. Michigan State Spartans on us. I keep checking here for more podcasts and plenty of written content. It is now Halloween Friday, so happy Halloween. Hope you got some good costumes picked out or whatever your plans are for Halloween. But Michigan State plays a football game on Saturday. Again, 3-5, trying to avoid 3-6. Would trying to avoid the first 0-6 Big Ten start for the Spartans since 2016. Obviously, though, that one feels a little different when it's a year removed from the college football playoff appearance in 2015, and then several other, some Big Ten championships a couple years before that with Mark D'Antonio. Obviously, Jonathan Smith has not built up that type of goodwill within the fan base for that type of start. So, talked about yesterday, could this be it for him? Could be. The indications show that if you're going to do it mid-season, it would probably be after this game. If there were to be a firing, if they lose it, I don't think they'd fire him if they win, because I think there is a realist. If you do win this game, we'll see if I think they will or not. If you do win this game, bowl game isn't out of the question. You can beat Penn State and you can beat Maryland. I don't think they can beat Iowa on the road, but they can. The schedule has lightened up. So we'll see, though. If it's 3-6, though, bye week after this might be it. So we'll have to wait and see on that, though. But as for this game, first thing out the door, I have a feeling it's going to be a bit of a rock fight. Two teams that are just not that good, particularly Michigan State. Again, MSU's 3-5, 0-5 in Big Ten play. All their losses by double digits. Minnesota, on the other hand, they're 5-3, on the verge of bowl eligibility. Their schedule is kind of interesting. They have MSU bye week at Oregon, at Northwestern, Wisconsin. So obviously Oregon's tough, but probably really looking at it, there's a chance they could go 8-4 here. That's interesting for Minnesota because they're not that heavily favored in this game. But what Minnesota has been good at home. 5-3 overall. 5 wins are all at home. All 3 losses are on the road. The road losses are a little tough. I mean, they had to travel all the way to Cal in the non-conference schedule. You had Ohio State. You should hardly even count that against them. And then at Iowa, who's playing some really good football as of late. But I do think this is going to be kind of a low-scoring game. Just looking at the offensive stats, MSU's defense has struggled this year. I have a feeling it shows that it's not going great when people are hyped up. I think the defense was a lot better against Michigan, but when people are hyped up about Joe Rossi moving down to the sideline, and they still allowed 31 points, it's kind of one of those things. Again, I think defense played pretty well. They kept them in that game for a good while until the dam broke towards the end, or really during the third quarter, I think. Third quarter is kind of where Michigan pulled away. But, Minnesota, though, 121st in total offense. Just not a very good offensive team. They've got a redshirt freshman quarterback, Drake Lindsey. I don't think he's bad, but he's a redshirt freshman. He's a young guy. He's going to take some time to truly get there. Again, Michigan State, on the other hand, is 108th in total offense. Scoring-wise, not great. You're looking at 26 points per game for Michigan State. And then from the Minnesota side, you're looking at 21.8 points per game. 21.8. Oh, wait, that's the defense. Sorry, that was 23.9. I was looking at the wrong stat there. Well, there you go. Minnesota's defense is a lot better than Michigan State's. That's why they're 5-3, and Michigan State is 3-5. Even though Michigan State is scoring more points at the moment. So, but we'll talk more about maybe that little clash right there because Michigan State's offense has been bad. I think it was good against Indiana, but they didn't score points. They had opportunities against Michigan, but just didn't score points. Again, the last 3 games, 13 points against UCLA, 13 points against Indiana, and 20 points against Michigan State. But one of those scores came with 7 seconds left in the game. Really, again, you can do this, the garbage time thing, like final minute. Like they kicked a garbage time field goal against Indiana, and then you had the one with Milivojevic in against Michigan. So it was really like a 31-13 game rather than 31-20. So again, offense is not working at all. Mekhi Frazier played really well against Michigan, made some guys miss. It was the best he's ran really all season, I think, just the way he was moving out there on the field. Had some lanes once in a while, so there was some decent run blocking. It wasn't great, but Frazier had a really big game, which was big because he had been a little quieter the last couple of games. I think he only had like 1 yard, like less than 10 yards against Indiana, so that's big for him to get back on track there. But Minnesota, though, run defense is really good, 19th in the country. I mean, their total defense is 15th in the country, so it's tough to move the ball on these guys because they've got some really good defensive players all around the field. Let's see, Coy Parrish was like a second-team All-American. I think he was one of the best. I think save Jeremiah Smith, unless I'm forgetting one. He might have been the best freshman, true freshman in the Big Ten this past season or last season. So there's more than that. I'm thinking of the names now. Again, Coy Parrish, he's a safety. He hasn't been as good this year, but he's still good. He picked off 5 passes last year, and he only has 1 so far this year. I mean, only 1, but still a safety that Aiden Childs is certainly going to have to look out for, assuming he starts. I don't see any reason why. Well, some people want Milivojevic to get a look. I doubt they're going to do that at this stage in the season, but I'm going to presume it's Childs because we haven't heard anything otherwise. So Childs better look out for Coy Parrish out there. They've got a really good pass rusher and Anthony Smith, tied for the Big Ten lead in sacks. He's got 7 of them. So tied with Caden Curry of Ohio State. Again, 7. He's got 9.5 tackles for loss. That's 3rd in the Big Ten. They've got a pair of linebackers, Devin Williams and Maverick Baranowski, 2 guys that have been pretty solid for them as well, guys who can clog up that run game quite a bit. They have a decent corner, John Nestor, played for Iowa last season, transferred to Minnesota. He's done well. He's picked off 3 passes this year, though 2 of them were against the Minnesota's FCS opponent, Northwestern State. So, but again, the stats are there. They're a lot better than Michigan State's. That's the big difference in this matchup and why Minnesota has been the better team so far this year. Again, total defense, they're allowing less than 300 yards per game. Passing yards allowed, not a lot, 190 per game. Rushing defense, 102 per game. Scoring defense doesn't align necessarily with the total defense. They're 47th there, but it's still 21.8 points per game. I think you'll take that with a Big Ten schedule. And again, it's kind of random. They've been up and down, I guess. I mean, they allowed Iowa to score 41 points last week. That's interesting. That's obviously not great because Iowa's not exactly known as an offensive-minded team. But 6 points allowed to Nebraska, 20 to Purdue, 42 to Ohio State, who, again, I think is the best team in college football, probably the national title favorite. 28 to Rutgers, 27 to Cal, and 10 to Buffalo as far as FBS opponents goes. But again, this is a Michigan State offense that has just been anemic so far this year. I don't think that's going to change necessarily in this game. Again, I'm just going to be really interested to see what the effort is in this one, just because, hey, they're 3-5. They've lost 5 straight. None of the games have been that close. You look at just kind of like, oh, a road game to Minnesota. Yay. Like it's kind of human nature to kind of, slump your shoulders a little bit. So we'll see how they respond. If they're flat in this game, I think that, again, we talked about Smith already. If they're just flat and they just kind of, they're just not there 100%, I think that's going to be it. It just kind of has to be it, because what else is there to really say at this point about how the Smith era has gone as far as the on-field product? Again, the effort has been there every single game. I don't think that's going to be the case. The effort has been there every single game this year, except for UCLA. They played hard against Michigan. They played hard against Indiana. They played hard against Nebraska. USC, they played hard. Non-conference games, the effort was fine. It's just the UCLA game was kind of random. I don't know really what happened there, but we'll see what happens here. I'd have to imagine that's the case, but nonetheless, uh, is tough times now. But as far as the final score goes, like I said, I think it's going to be low scoring. I don't think you're going to see too many points in this game. I am going to take Minnesota because they're 5-0 at home. Michigan State has won one road game in the Jonathan Smith era, and that was his very first one, the one at Maryland. And even that game, in hindsight, almost feels a little fluky, just kind of in the way Michigan State came back. There was a couple deep balls from Charles to Marsh, something we haven't seen that often really since. There was one against Boston College, but you haven't seen Marsh get over the top too much. But nonetheless, a lot of road losses for the Spartans in the Jonathan Smith era. I don't see that changing here. I think as far as the final score goes, I'm going to go with Minnesota. Let's do 20. Let's do 24. Michigan State 13. That's going to be my final score prediction. I was this close for the Michigan State game. I said 31-21 Michigan. Jonathan Smith went for 2. That's all I'm gonna keep it at that. I was gonna get it right, but nonetheless, though, that's kind of how predictions go. Sometimes you're wrong, even if you're mostly right. You can't be. It's really tough to be perfect on a final score prediction, but this close. I almost consider it perfect because I basically have the right track of how the scoring would break up, but whatever. Until then, though, I'm Jacob Katzanika. Thank you for tuning in here. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Music, or if you're watching this on YouTube or some other platform, thank you for listening very much. Keep checking in here at SpartanNation.com and at Michigan State Spartans on SI, and I'll see you guys around.